Today, we're going to talk about setting goals for the best business year ever. What's up, guys? My name is Colin Johnson. I'm the founder and CEO of Steady Force Solutions. And today we're going to talk about business goals. In business, we often create goals, generally every year or quarter, but rarely do we actually achieve those goals to the same magnitude that we shoot for or in the timeline. Today, we're going to discuss why goals are important, how your business should be setting up goals, how to turn those goals into SMART goals, how to create action out of those goals, how to track those goals, and how to tie them all together. Number one, so why are goals important? Number one, they provide guidance and direction. Number two, they provide purpose, motivation, and drive. Number three, they create focus. Number four, they are proven to increase productivity and performance. Number five, they create accountability. And number six, they are essential for achieving success. Okay, so now that we know why they're so important, let's talk about how you can implement goal setting in your business, tie that into strategic planning, and set yourself up for the best year you've ever had. Number one, you have to start from the big picture. Think about 10 years out, 5 years out, what you want that business to look like. I mean, this is a big goal. This is a goal that seems unfathomable, but still achievable. Think of it as if everything went right for 10 straight years, that's what your business would be. If you're a brand new business, thinking 10 years out probably is impossible. So let's start with thinking 5 years out. Once you've narrowed in that 5-year plan, just start executing. A year later, we'll reevaluate what that 10-year picture could be, and then we'll reshape our long-term plan. So there are 4 elements to your big goal. I call it your 10-year dream. Number one, you start with a revenue in mind. In 10 years, you want to be achieving X revenue per year. Number two, it must be influenced by the organization. I want to win the lottery and I can try for 10 years straight, but I can't actually influence that impact. However, making $1 million this year is something that I can impact. Making $10 million in 10 years is something that I can impact. Number three, probably one of your biggest friction points in a larger team is getting everybody on board. If I want to achieve $10 million in 10 years and my business partner is happy at $500,000 in 10 years, we have very different long-term goals, and that will likely cause issues along the strategic planning and throughout the execution and performance of the organization. And number four, it's one sentence, one goal describing the revenue goal as well as the makeup of the organization. The makeup of the organization could be the types of products or offerings that you have, the revenue streams, etc. Okay, so we've got our 10-year dream. We've summarized it in one sentence. Everybody in our organization can follow it and get behind it. The next step is to refine that goal into a 3-year vision. Again, this is simple as taking the same questions you answered in your 10-year dream, but with a little bit more realistic scope. This can be done the same way you do your 10-year dream, except now we're looking at a much tighter picture, haven't accumulated a lot of growth. So our 3-year dream is, again, those first 3 years to reach that 10-year dream. Once we have a 3-year vision in mind, we can start to develop our annual strategy. And we start this by establishing 3 to 6 goals. The more complex these goals are, the less you should have. Oftentimes, when organizations and business partners get together, they start writing down all the things they want to achieve in the year. Their list comes back 15, 16, sometimes 17 goals. And while that's great, it's unrealistic. If I'm focused in 17 different areas, there's a significantly higher probability that I fail to reach any of them. Determine the 6 most important elements, the 6 most important goals you need to achieve, and focus on defining how to achieve those goals. Once you have your 3 to 6 annual goals, we're going to start to break those down into smaller, actionable tasks or objectives. So for each one of your goals, I want you to create 2 to 4 organizational objectives. This is still at the organization level. We haven't started diving down into how each department is going to contribute to the overall organizational goals. Now, these 2 to 4 objectives are action-based. There are things that must be done to achieve the goal result. For example, if I want to grow my social media platform by 1,000 followers, what type of actions must I take in order to achieve that? It could be posting on social media every day. It could be short form content. It could be long form content like this YouTube here, or podcast, audio, video, etc. You're going to do this for every one of your goals goals. And at the end, if you have 3 goals, you should have at a minimum 6 objectives for each quarter. Now, when you're developing objectives, you want to try to do this in a chronological order because every quarter or every 3 months, you're going to be developing additional objectives that help you achieve that big goal for the year. Okay, so at this point, if you're a small organization and you don't have a big team, then you're probably ready to start writing your strategy out, which may seem like a redundant task since you've just broken down all your big goals into smaller goals, into objectives, your objectives into actionable tasks. But you want to write this out in a document or a Word document type that chronologically lays out how you're going to achieve the success. It does multiple things for you. It solidifies your vision for the year. It solidifies the traction and the action steps that are going to be taken. It allows you to have a document that communicates to the rest of your team exactly how you see your business operating over the next year. This creates shared understanding, it creates buy-in across your organization, and it increases the probability of success. If you're working in a larger organization that has departments or multiple different elements of your business, it's time to take those goals, prioritize them by the department. For example, the marketing department might be involved with extending reach or gaining followers. Your operations cell may be responsible for the production of new offerings or new services or new products. Your human resources and your IT may be responsible for customer relationships, customer satisfaction, employee satisfaction. Find a way to get every element of your organization synchronized in the pursuit of those goals. Okay, so now that we've talked about kind of how to structure goals, let's talk about a way to write your goals to increase the probability of success. SMART goals. What are they? SMART goals are a way to create or write out your goals that increases the probability of success. It provides you a manner to track your results, and it creates accountability and increased success rates. So what's a SMART goal? S stands for specific. Make sure that your goals are clear and concise and well defined. M stands for measurable. If you cannot measure a goal, you will never know if you've actually reached success. Simply growing your follower base or growing your revenue isn't good enough, or a measurable on it in order to track your progress. A is for achievable. While we all would love to make $3 million this year, that may not be realistic for some of us. However, doubling your income very well could be. Number 4, it must be relevant. And this ties back into the organizational synchronization. If the organization wants to do one thing, but then you have your departments all focused on different goals, we're never going to achieve organizational success. Think of it as playing tug of war. If we're all on the same side of the rope and we're pulling against the common enemy, or we're all tracking towards a common goal, we're likely to succeed. But if we all have a different tail of the rope and we're all pulling in our own ways, we may be working just as hard or harder individually, but we're not synchronized and our efforts are chaotic and not focused. That's going to decrease our probability of success. And last is T, which means time bound. It creates accountability, it drives motivation, and gives you something to measure, a line in the sand, so to speak, to achieve that goal. A common example, especially around this time of the year, is 2023 resolution of getting healthier. While that's a great goal, it doesn't really define much. A better way to write this goal would be, I want to lose 15 pounds through diet and exercise 3 times a week, no later than December 31st, 2023. We've specified what we want to do in losing weight through diet and exercise. We've created a measurable with both 15 pounds and through exercising 3 to 4 times a week. We've made it achievable because we've created an ability to break that up over time into quarters. It's relevant because it speaks to our overall goal of getting healthier, and it's time bound because we know we want to do it by the end of the year. Knowing that versus just getting healthier, what's the chances of success? Incredibly high with a SMART goal. So next is creating action, and we've already written out, we just talked about how we're going to create action. Now let's talk about how we're going to track our progress. So in business, KPIs or key performance indicators are spreadsheets or dashboards, or these fun little tools that we create for us to track and monitor every day or week or month. KPIs are a great way to not only track, but also communicate across your organization and your team. So what should KPIs provide? On your KPI tracker, you should have your goals defined in order. So goal 1, goal 2, goal 3 written out. You should define your measurables and the specific elements you want to track, like revenue or year-to-date revenue or sales revenue, cost per lead, various different different types of KPIs that you want to measure. You should define your leading measures. These are the actions that need to be taken to achieve that objective, which supports that goal. An example of this would be if I want to grow my email list by 1,000 members over the year, I should be creating one lead magnet per month. I should be distributing that through social media because there's an opt-in sequence or an opt-in requirement to get that free resource. It should also define the tracking timelines and the overall goal timeline. Now, these differ in the sense of you're going to record your numbers or your performance either every week, every day, every month. That way you can reference the performance towards your goal. And finally, you got to track who's responsible for that individual indicator. You need to get very detailed when you assign responsibility. If two people share the same responsibility, no one will own it. If you're assigning responsibility down to a department, that department should go into greater detail in defining who owns the elements, the different elements of that KPI. Okay, so once you have your KPIs defined and agreed upon, you're really ready to dive into the full strategic plan. This may seem like a repetitive step. It does solidify your strategy. It chronologically will lay it out. It creates clear communication because you're documenting and you're disseminating this strategy out to your organization, and it creates accountability. Okay, congratulations. You've now set your organization and your business up for the next 10 years. All that's left is to take that plan, put it into action, check up on it regularly. I recommend adding your KPI tracker to your weekly meeting or bi-weekly meeting. At a bare minimum, you need to be having a KPI-based or goal-based meeting once a month. If you tie it into your weekly meeting, it becomes seamless, it's quick, you can cover the information in about 5 to 10 minutes and identify where you're going off the rails or where you're really succeeding. Remember, you're gonna reevaluate your objectives every 90 days to increase the productivity and to ensure success. Okay, guys, so we've covered a lot about goals today. So now it's time, put this into action, set yourself up for the best year you've ever had. If you like what you're seeing here, come back again next Thursday, like and subscribe, click that little bell for reminders, and I'll see you again next week.